exclusive Channel 9 storm camera continues to drive through uptown Charlotte right now. You can see the snow is still falling lightly here in this live picture. And now to Chester County, South Carolina. You see a lot of flakes there falling in this live picture. And some new information just coming in from our weather team. This storm is moving through pretty quickly.
Our team coverage on this round of winter weather continues right now on Eyewitness News at 5:30. We have a lot more to cover in the next hour, but first, just take a look at live early warning Doppler 9. You can see this rather large storm is going to cover much of the Carolinas.
And Chief Meteorologist Steve Udelson has been forecasting this storm for days now. Steve's been on top of every shift of this storm. So, Steve, what is the latest that you're seeing out there right now?
Lots of little jiggles, Blair, which we're trying to figure out, is this really a track change or not? And it does appear as though this storm is going to be a brush of the metro area, and south of town still appears as though we'll see some pretty decent accumulations, especially considering the areas that we're talking about. Again, a closer look at this storm, and look at this. We've got snow all the way down to the Florida Panhandle right now, and that's why we're certainly concerned, especially across the Midlands. Right now, the initial batch of snow is pushing through the immediate metro area, and we're also seeing temperatures dipping to about freezing or so. The back edge of the storm, however, has already started to approach the Atlanta metro area. Typically, that means we have about 5 or so hours of a steadier snow, but even back across the southwest mountains of North Carolina and North Georgia, all of a sudden you can see the snow has disappeared. That means drier air is beginning to come in, and that will lower our forecast snow totals. So that's certainly good news for travelers, not so great news for snow lovers, but we're still forecasting a steady snow even for several hours in and around the metro area this evening, and that is going to cause problems on the roads. With temperatures down near freezing, this will accumulate. I'll be back in a few minutes to let you know how much.
Thank you, Steve. A live look right now at this DOT camera. This is I-77 south of I-485, and look at how hard it's coming down there. Pretty heavily. This storm took DOT crews by surprise because of how much it shifted towards Charlotte. Our Eyewitness News reporter Jim Bradley joins us now live from southwest Charlotte. Jim, what do things look out like there now?
Well, it's definitely coming down harder, Erica. Just 10 or 15 minutes ago, there was nothing at all, even on the grass, which obviously shows first. Now, look, you can see that it's building up down here. The big question now, though, is the roadway, and there's a sort of race going on now between the snow that's coming in and the rush hour traffic that's trying to get home before it starts to build up. So far, so good. It's wet on the roads now, but there was a lot of brine that was down earlier that we were able to see, and it's doing its job at this point. Now, crews have been behind the 8 ball for a lot of today because their own forecast didn't suggest accumulation until this morning, and so it wasn't until after rush hour this morning that they got out there, as you see right here, and started hitting the major roads and highways pretty hard. Altogether, there are probably about 100 trucks that are ready to go tonight if and when the snow really starts building up on the roadways. The big question is, of course, what the road surface temperature is going to be. Traffic for a while will keep that from building up. But the real question is what's going to happen tonight. That could be a different story. Back here live, you see again, this snowfall is definitely coming down more heavily. The traffic should be able to continue to keep that from building up on the roadways as it goes. But later on tonight is a different story. So the question is going to be how much will build up and how much will crews have to be out here working. They're ready to go through the night if necessary. We'll be out here watching it as well. Live in Southwest Charlotte, Jim Bradley, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Jim, thank you. Well, the snow is also falling right now across parts of South Carolina that haven't seen it in years. In fact, some local counties see it so infrequently they have to borrow brine supplies from the DOT. Eyewitness News reporter Greg Suskin continues our team coverage tonight from Chester County. Greg.
Well, and the big change since you saw me half an hour ago, the snow coming down a lot heavier now. And to take a step back here, you can look down at the ground and see it is also now starting to stick to the ground, at least here in the grass, though not on the road just yet. I want to show you some video right now. This is of DOT trucks working in the York County area today. We learned that the York County DOT is really the only place in the area that can make that salt brine. Trucks from Lancaster County have to come over and take it from there and bring it back to highways like 521, Highway 9, Highway 5, Highway 903, places like that, in order to spread it. In the same way, the city of Rock Hill also doesn't make its own salt brine. They get it from DOT trucks and spread it around the city. Now, of course, those crews be working all throughout the night into tomorrow morning. We're told about 20 DOT trucks, about 20 more trucks in the city of Rock Hill and other places. In fact, we just saw them behind us pulling off the interstate here at I-77 and Highway 9 just a few moments ago. Trucks loaded up with sand, getting ready to look for areas that could be trouble spots. We're live in Chester County. Greg Suskin, Channel 9 Eyewitness News.
Thank you, Greg. Now, the southern